Welcome back to another quick episode of Spaceman 2.0. I'm going to try to make this quick, under 5 minutes, or else I can't upload to BitChute. So look for my stuff on BitChute as well, Spaceman 2.0. Now, here we go. We live on an infinite plane. That's what Nikola Tesla said. Remember, plane and plane. We have all these words in English. Knife and, or not knife, night and night. Anyways, main thing here is this is the new standard map of the world. This is actually the world as it is. This is called the Gleason map. Yeah, everyone has to look it up. Okay, when you look at the sizes of countries and where things are situated. All right, even the maps of the United Nations map shows this map. The aviation map, the astrological map, or whatever. All these guys, different organizations show these basic maps. All right, I'll put that on. Maybe as the title screen here. Now, making a flight from Bali, you go right by Alaska to get to Los Angeles. That's why there was an emergency stop made in Alaska for a woman giving birth on a plane. You can look it up. You don't believe it, it's still true. So that's why you go straight by Alaska and then you hit Los Angeles. You don't come from here up to Los Angeles but go further north on a ball. Okay, so the other ball, or the flat map that they kind of show you the ball laid out. I'll show you in a second here and explain it. That's only made for trade. That's the only thing it's made for is trade. And the whole reason why the time zones are set up the way they are is only for trade. It's only for trading. That means making money for the elite, for the Illuminati bankers. They are worried about their bank books being the best and the most efficient. So they want to make sure we're controlled by time. Okay, for trade, not by infinite time, which is what we live on. We live on an infinite plane, which has an infinite amount of time. This is an eternal plane, and you're here for a reason, and that's to learn your lessons in truth, grow into spiritual reality of light, love, truth, and awareness, come to know your maker, and treat others with respect. And that's about it in a nutshell. So, a flight taken from Santiago, Chile to Johannesburg passes through Senegal. See that? A straight line can pass through northern Africa. So on the ball, you see these big hoops and they show, oh, we're going here and then we're going up here and then down here. But they're really doing a straight line. Okay, and that's why you go from the south of the equator, because the equator's a circle around here in the middle. You go from south of the equator into the north and then back to the south. So that's why it doesn't make sense on a globe why these flight patterns are showing these big arcing hoops. It doesn't make sense why they take all of that space when the shortest distance would be right to there on a globe, which would be a shorter space. Okay, so these don't exist, these shorter spaces, because it actually gets wider as you go around. Okay, the earth was made in 7 days, as they say. Well, I don't know, could be an analogy. Like today is the analogy of 777 because of July being the 7th month, and I'll get into that in a minute. So right here you have a flight path, goes up into the north, back to the south. That's why you can have flight paths directly from here to India, and they go over parts of London, and it wouldn't make sense to go over the highest volume area of flight traffic if you don't need to. But basically a straight path to there, and then there is you fly right over London. So they fly straight flight paths. It would be silly to do these big arcing curves, and they say it's the wind and this and that. That's the reason why they do these things. So the reason why they don't show us this map is because then we know Antarctica's a circle. It's shorter here, bigger here. Ships have found that they keep going in a convex or concave way, not convex. They don't go around something. They keep going inwards. So there's a concavity to it. Not like around the Arctic Circle would be a convex. You're going around it, okay? So that's why this is called the Arctic and this is called the Antarctic, because this is the opposite of this arc. This is an arc like this, and this is an arc like this. It's kind of the opposite. One you go around, and one, like, you go within it. You can't go around it. So it's a different arc. That's why it's called the Arctic and the Antarctic, are the opposite of the arc here. Okay, it's really simple, but they try to make it difficult for us to understand. The sun's and the moon, okay, they actually go around us in a circle, spiral in, spiral out. And then the moon is on the opposite side. So if the moon is here, we're having our summer. If the moon is here, we're having our winter, because the moon brings a cold light. All right. And the sun, brings a hot light. And then if you can see over here, this is the moon here, and there's a second thing here. So there might be 2 suns and 2 moons outside this circle. Okay. And they don't want us to go to the other lands, because then we know that we are free and we're not imprisoned anymore from these Illuminati shills trying to keep us in and not letting us go to Antarctica and explore nothing, because they'll know that we'll find second suns and everything like that. Now, the reality about the moon and how the moon can get lunar eclipse is not from the sun and the earth. That's a bunch of gobbledygook. There's actually a third entity in the air that kind of covers the moon, and it makes a lot of sense, and that's how you get the arc. It's going around the moon. I believe it's interesting, but it can be causing the moon to go into new moon and full moon cycles. So I'm not sure exactly how that works, but God is filled with mysteries and infinite mysteries of understanding. So I look forward to uncovering that. Now let's get into the map on trade for a quick second. So to prove this is only for trade, this map is only for trade. Okay, it has the time zones, and then your Greenwich Mean Time, which is London, that starts to 0. The Queen wants to control it all, or now the King. Okay, when things are traded. So if you draw a straight line, you go right through to here. If you draw a straight line from here, okay, you go right through to there. Where does X marks the spot? X marks the spot right around here. All right. What is the most fought after territory in the planet? Right about where the X marks the spot. So now you know why there's terror in the Middle East all the time, because the elites are trying to control the Suez Canal, every trade route that goes through all these lakes, especially the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea. These are old trade routes from the past. The barbarian Khazarians are the controllers of that area. They're Gog from Magog coming to invade down south into the land of Palestine and take it over. So that's my say on this. This is all about trading. The map is made for you to see that the center is right there. They say that's the center of the world, but it's really not. The center of the world is the North Pole in reality. But the center of the trade route world is present day Israel, Palestine, in that area. Black Sea and Caspian Sea used to be called the Khazar Sea, and above it used to be called Khazaria. Okay, you don't believe me? Look up your history books. They were forced to take on a religion. They took on the Judean religion and are hiding in sheep's clothes as wolves, devouring, getting interest and money from everyone on the planet. Now they're saying it's carbon tax. Got a carbon tax here. Look how big Greenland is. Okay, you can fit a Canada and Greenland in this map. So they do a lot of interesting stuff. By the way, up here in one of these islands, Baffin Island, I believe, right down into one of those is where Mars is. That's where they do all the Mars photographs. There's a NASA program going on there. NASA means to deceive, because they don't want you to know that you can't go to outer space and go to all those other planets. That's all bullshit. So back to this. This is the reality of the planet you live on. You can go to the center and you can go to the periphery, right?